I knew if I did that another 20 times, I would be a zombie.
I gained 40 pounds.
It was soul-sucking. I couldn't do it anymore.
I was becoming increasingly frustrated by my inability to help them.
I will, for the rest of my life, be my own boss.
So I've quit medicine. I've left medicine.
There are 0 residency plans in my future.
This isn't clickbait.
This is not clickbait in any way.
A couple medical influencers recently announced that they were leaving medicine, and as a first-year medical student who doesn't see themselves ever quitting, this made me question, why are physicians leaving a field I've wanted since I was a kid? Common guesses would include burnout, which the World Health Organization defines as exhaustion, decreased work efficiency, and mental distance from one's job, and impacts almost 1 out of every 2 physicians. But I wasn't buying this. So I watched all 3 hours of these videos and condensed the major themes into this one video so you don't have to. And with that, we start with the videos of Zach, Kylie, and Maggie as they left before getting to the attending stage. But if you're wondering what I'm talking about in stages, then let me break it down for you. The average medical journey can be split up in 5 extremely easy stages. The first stage is undergraduate university, where you take the required courses to get into medical school and spend all-nighters consuming information you'll probably never use in your life. Speaking of medical school, this is stage 2, and usually takes 4 years, where you'll learn all the science and really hone in on the specialty you would want to practice for the rest of your life. Next up is by far the easiest part of the whole journey, residency, which lasts 3 to 7 years depending on the specialty, and may require you to work a light 80 hours a week. After residency, you'll have the option to specialize even further by choosing a fellowship, which can take 1 to 3 additional years. And finally, after all of that, you'll have some gray hairs on your head, but you'll be in attending and can either work in the academic sector or you can work in the clinical setting, or both. Sounds easy, right? No, because somebody decided to put a couple of gates in front of each stage, with the most prominent one being in front of medical school. It takes an entire extra year for your application to get processed and for you to get admitted to a medical school. And for others, it takes even longer.
I had to take 3 gap years to just get in. Imagine this, 7 years of your life, $500,000 of your family's money. You tell every single person you know that you're going to be a doctor. Every single person you know is asking you, oh, did you hear back from your medical school applications yet? Oh, which medical school are you attending? Have you thought about when you're going to move? I haven't even got in.
Good thing people are so supportive over who gets into medical school these days, right? Alright, enough on the barrier to even get into medicine. Let's now take a look at the first theme that's led to these medfluencers quitting, a doctor's lifestyle.
Because, you know, a neurosurgeon, they don't sleep very well because they keep getting called about emergencies. And I knew that if I kept going back to that job every day for another 20 years, I would die. My body and mind and soul, they would have just broken down.
When you're walking out of the hospital alone at 2 a.m. on Christmas morning and you see your car is the only one in the parking lot and all of your colleagues in the healthcare setting have been at home, have been with their family, and you're going to end up celebrating Christmas a day or 2 days later because you were working, and then you're pretty much a zombie because you're so tired because you've been up all night on the actual day of Christmas because your body can't rebound like it was when it was younger, it affects you.
So as you've seen and probably already know, a physician can work crazy hours. These hours include throughout the night and over holidays. For my younger viewers, you're probably not worried about this because you don't have your own family and you're filled with energy, but by the time you get to this point, it can be pretty destructive to your overall wellness. And man, the crazy thing is that I already see this as a medical student, where I'm spending like 40 to 60 hours a week studying and I'm barely talking to others or making time to eat or have fun. The medical system has been trapping brilliant minds in this fallacy that the impact they'll have on their patients is necessary for the burden that it costs on their body. But how helpful is a doctor that lacks the motivation to fully attend to each and every one of their patients? People experience moral dilemmas as they proceed through medicine. They go into medicine thinking that they are going to be the epitome of healing and rejuvenation, just to get shoved into a corner office desk, typing notes, not actually healing patients, or knowing the one medication that could solve the entire community's problems, just to find out that it's not accessible.
I was being called to serve people. And in the world of corporate medicine, the shackles that kept getting put on me were stopping the service that was supposed to be in medicine. And no matter how hard I tried, it was not going to match. It did not match who I was.
This surgery can help some people, but really the best thing that people can do is eat a certain way, exercise, sleep, meditate, be mindful, not be stressed, hang out with their loved ones and friends. And then their back problems will get better.
I came to med school because I wanted to do surgery. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon, have a private practice, and then teach women in medicine, like other orthopedic women surgeons, how to start a private practice from scratch. That was going to be my high ticket offer when I entered med school. I was already planning this all out. But during med school, I really didn't apply myself in the first place to be competitive for ortho.
Larger data says that only 1 in 4 medical students stick with their initial specialty choice. Such a drastic career shift can lead to doubt and discouragement. Another way that expectations contribute to a misconception of medicine is when those expectations come from friends and family members, like we heard from Dr. Hiley earlier in the video and from Dr. Gooby here.
It wasn't that my parents forced me. Sure, there was some pressure to make a certain decision, but ultimately, it was my choice.
I fortunately don't have the same pressure from my peers, but rather the opposite, where I get bashed for wasting my 20s from friends who started earning money right out of high school. Either way, getting pressured into medicine may be a disaster that pushes you to pursue a career that you didn't genuinely want to in the first place. This section is probably the most important for what makes a doctor choose to stop practicing, or rather allows for a physician to stop practicing.
In 2023, I think I made $190,000, if I remember correctly, and 68,000 of that was from brand deals, and outside of that 68,000, I'm sure 98 to 99% was road to acceptance sales. 2025 is my year to make $500K.
If you figure out a way to help people heal and you can't charge them for it, well, then you've just worked yourself out of a job. I don't know how to do any other job. At that time, my wife wasn't working. I was the only paycheck. I need to keep working. I need to keep going to this job that I don't believe in anymore. And that tore me apart.
Just like with healthcare, you need lots of money in order to stay afloat. The main factor allowing these people to leave is having money, either from a 6-figure business helping pre-meds like in Maggie's case, or having worked some years as an attending physician like Dr. Gooby. And in case you weren't aware, she did receive a tremendous amount of backlash for this video since it had such an emphasis on money and business. If you'd like me to speak more about Maggie's video, then let me know in the comments because hers really goes beyond the scope of this one. Dr. Gooby also pointed out an essential economic factor driving hospital decisions. Helping people is cool, but making profit is even better because that allows you to expand your outreach and improve your services. As someone looking into the business side of medicine, it would be nice to know how hospitals could do both of these at once without prioritizing profits. Let me know down in the comments if you know.
During the past month, when I've been home, I have more energy. I'm happier. I was able to get a haircut. I'm stronger in the gym. Again, these are silly things, but it's I feel like a better person. What I do know is I don't want to be a zombie. And I want to have an impact on the world. And if I'm a zombie, I don't think I can have an impact on the world, at least the living people.
Now that I've left, I haven't been this happy in my whole life. So what I did when I quit is I slept every night for a really long time. And I walked. I spent time outside, I spent time with my dog. I did the things that I wanted to do, which is be out here.
Fulfillment. It really doesn't take much to be happy, except time. And time doesn't exist much for doctors. It seems that there is little support for physicians to take a step away from their work and just enjoy life. The healthcare system is short-staffed, contaminated with entrepreneurship, and doesn't always keep the healers in mind. Those should always be patient-centered in our care. When's the time to start centering our physicians? So what can we do about this? As a patient, you should try to compliment and reassure your physicians who are sacrificing their body to help heal you. You really don't know how far a single compliment goes for a burned out provider. As a prospective healthcare professional, truly understand what it's like being a doctor and ignore anybody's expectations over you if they don't align with your values. I plug this in all of my videos, but if you're a pre-med, then check out the Google Drive linked in my description. It will help you whether you want it to or not. The AMA is an active group on social media that continuously advocates for physician lifestyle improvements. Consider showing them your support for when they advocate for change. And lastly, as a viewer, you can support fellow medfluencers who will advocate for reformed healthcare systems like this wonderful fellow right here. And with that, I leave you with the most inspirational piece of advice from Dr. Hilston, a general and trauma surgeon.
I really want to encourage you to stick with it. I want you to do your absolute best to finish your training.
I got you, fam.
The medical system entraps some of the most brilliant minds away from the real world in an artificial setting designed to keep them from capitalizing or actually helping the larger audience. With your help, we could start releasing these burned out physicians from this false ideology and ensure that the healthcare field is better for our patients and for our providers. Back in the same spot, pre-exam 1 of the second block. Let's get it.